Sam was only 11 when his mom stood at the door with her suitcase and a bright smile. "You're independent now," she said, placing a crumpled $20 bill in his hand like it was enough to replace a parent. Sam stared at the money, confused and frightened, but she did not notice. She blew a fast kiss into the air, turned toward the driveway, and rolled her suitcase away. The door clicked shut behind her, leaving him alone in the silent house. "I will be fine," he whispered, trying to believe the words even as his hands trembled. The house felt too big without another voice in it, and Sam quickly learned how empty a kitchen could sound. He checked the fridge and pantry, trying to invent a plan the way adults did, but the shelves were half empty. "Independent," he muttered. "That's what she said." He sliced bread into thin pieces and spread peanut butter carefully, pretending it was a game he could win. As the hours passed, the silence grew heavier. There was no babysitter, no adult checking in, not even a neighbor stopping by. Just Sam, $20, and the strange pressure to survive alone. By the third day, the joke inside his head stopped being funny. Hunger made him dizzy, and the pantry looked like something from a commercial asking for donations. He found a box of cereal with more air than food and ate it dry. "This is ridiculous," he whispered. To calm himself, he opened a small notebook and wrote one word at the top: evidence. Under it, he listed everything: no food plan, no calls, no working card. Then he recorded a short video on his phone. "Day 3, he said softly. "I'm still alone. If you see this, something went wrong." Sam wanted to message his best friend, Ella, but the words felt too heavy. Instead, he sent a normal text, something about her family trip, hoping she would not ask questions. On day 5, he found another half-empty cereal box and ate it slowly, trying not to cry. He added more notes to the notebook. Still no call. Still alone. His anger finally started replacing the fear. "If they think I'm old enough to survive alone," he muttered, "then I'm old enough to show someone what they did." That was when the doorbell rang, 3 sharp knocks that froze him. When Sam cracked the door open, he saw Mr. Hill, the school counselor, wearing a jacket with the school emblem. "Hi, Sam," he said gently. "I've been trying to reach your parents. They didn't answer. Can I come in?" Sam hesitated before stepping aside. Mr. Hill looked around the quiet house, noticing the empty counters and the almost bare fruit bowl. "Where are your parents?" he asked. "Europe," Sam whispered. "For a month." Mr. Hill's eyes widened. "Who's staying with you?" Sam lowered his gaze. "No one. They said I was old enough." That was the moment everything shifted. Mr. Hill pulled out a chair and motioned for Sam to sit across from him. "How long have you been alone?" he asked firmly. Sam stared at the table and whispered, "Almost a week." The counselor's brows tightened as he scanned the empty sink and the untouched emergency credit card on the counter. "Do you have enough food or money?" he asked. Sam let out a shaky breath. "They left me this," he said, holding up the wrinkled $20 bill. Mr. Hill sighed deeply. "Sam, this is not okay. Leaving an 11-year-old alone like this is dangerous. It's neglect." The word neglect echoed inside Sam's mind like something from a courtroom show. "What happens if someone finds out?" he asked quietly. Mr. Hill leaned forward. "Agencies get involved. Child Protective Services. There could be an investigation." Sam looked at his notebook, the word evidence written boldly at the top. For the first time he understood its true power. "So, there could be consequences for them?" he asked. "For what they did to me?" Mr. Hill didn't flinch. He nodded slowly. "Yes, real consequences." Sam swallowed hard. Anger mixed with relief as he finally whispered, "Then help me." Mr. Hill stepped into the hallway to make a call while Sam waited at the table, gripping his notebook. He heard pieces of the counselor's voice. "Alone, 11, no food, no guardian." A few minutes later, Mr. Hill returned. "I contacted your neighbor, Mrs. Lane," he said. "And someone from Child Protection. They're coming to check on you." A soft knock came at the door, and Mrs. Lane walked in, her eyes widening at Sam's pale face. "Oh, sweetheart," she whispered. "Why didn't you come to me?" Sam's voice cracked. "Because I didn't want to look weak." Mrs. Lane knelt beside him. "Asking for help is not weakness," she said gently. "It's survival." Mr. Hill nodded toward Sam's notebook. "Keep writing everything you remember. It protects you." Sam took a deep breath and continued telling them the truth. How his mom laughed when he asked who would stay with him, how the credit card never worked, how the hunger felt like fog in his head. As he talked, both adults grew visibly tense. "We'll make sure the right people hear your story," Mr. Hill promised. For the first time in days, Sam felt something new. He felt seen. When the caseworker arrived, she carefully examined the fridge, pantry, and counters, taking notes quietly. Then she turned to Sam. "How long have your parents been gone?" she asked. 7 days, he answered. "They planned a month." She nodded, her expression firm. "And who checks on you?" "No one," Sam whispered. "Not until today." She looked at him with a sadness that felt heavy. "You won't be staying alone tonight," she said. Sam felt his chest tighten, part fear, part relief. She added softly, "We will speak to your parents. But first, we make sure you are safe." The caseworker stepped aside to make a call, and Sam walked to the counter, lifting his phone. He recorded the empty fridge, the cereal crumbs, the unused credit card. "This is what the house looked like when they finally noticed I was alone," he whispered. "This is what my mom will walk into." When he finished, he tucked the phone into his pocket. The caseworker returned. "For now," she said, "you'll stay with Mrs. Lane while we investigate." Mrs. Lane placed a gentle hand on Sam's shoulder. "You're not invisible here," she said softly. "You matter." Crossing the grass to Mrs. Lane's house felt like stepping into a different life. Warm smells drifted from her kitchen. Vanilla, cinnamon, real food. Sam's stomach growled loudly, and she pretended not to hear. "Let's make something warm," she said. "You cook with me today." They returned to his kitchen with reusable bags of groceries. "Keep the receipts," Mr. Hill said while helping unload. "They show what wasn't here before today." Sam slid them into his notebook behind the pages labeled evidence. The kitchen slowly filled with the smell of boiling pasta and garlic, wrapping around him like safety. As they cooked, the caseworker asked gentle questions. "When was the last time your mom called?" she asked. Sam showed her the one selfie his mother sent. Her smiling in front of a Paris cafe. "She said she was finally free for a month," Sam whispered. The caseworker wrote it down and then asked, "Would you like to write something for the report? Something you want your parents to hear?" Sam froze, thinking. Then he nodded and sat at the table. He wrote slowly, "Being mature doesn't mean I don't need food or safety. It doesn't mean I don't feel scared." He continued writing, his hands shaking. "By the time you read this," he wrote, "other adults have already seen what you did. They saw the empty fridge, the dead card, and the notebook where I had to record my own neglect. If there are consequences, they aren't because I betrayed you. They're because you left me." When he slid the letter to the caseworker, she nodded with respect. "I'll make sure they see this," she said. That night, Sam sat at Mrs. Lane's table, twirling warm spaghetti around his fork, tasting food that reminded him of normal life. After dinner, Sam overheard quiet voices in the living room, words like temporary placement, risk factors, and possible removal of custody. He didn't understand every term, but he understood the tone. His parents had treated his existence like something they could pause for a vacation. Now, adults were finally calling it out. Later in the guest room, Sam recorded one last clip. "Day 7, he whispered. "But now people know. I'm safe. If you're my mom watching this, remember, actions have consequences. This time it's your turn." He ended the video and lay back, feeling both heavy and calm. The next evening, while Sam worked on homework at the kitchen table, his mom's work number flashed across the screen. He froze, staring at it. "You don't have to answer alone," Mrs. Lane said gently. Sam pressed accept and set the phone on speaker. Sam, his mom snapped. Why is child services emailing us? Why is your school involved? Do you know what this looks like for us? Not are you okay? Not are you safe? Sam felt something inside him tighten. They're involved because you left me, he said. You left me with $20 and no food. You're exaggerating, she shot back. There was plenty of food. You know how dramatic you can be. And you're 11, not a toddler. I cannot believe you turned people against us. Mrs. Lane leaned forward. This is Mrs. Lane, she said firmly. I bought groceries because your house was almost empty. Your son was dizzy from hunger. Sam's mom inhaled sharply. Why are you interfering? This is a family matter. Sam looked at his notebook. No calls for 7 days. I wasn't fine, he said quietly. And pretending won't make it true. The line went silent for a moment. When his mom finally spoke again, her voice was sharp. We'll discuss this when we get home. And there will be consequences for you, young man. The call cut off. Mrs. Lane silenced the phone gently. She's right, she said softly. There will be consequences, but not just for you. The next morning, the caseworker visited Sam at school. Your parents changed their flight, she said. They'll be home in 3 days. Sam felt his stomach twist. They weren't coming home because they missed him. They were coming home because they were afraid. I want to be there, he said. The caseworker nodded. Then we'll make sure you're supported in that room. For the next 2 days, they quietly prepared. She printed copies of his notebook pages, call logs, grocery receipts, and the single photo his mom sent with the caption finally free. This isn't about revenge, she reminded him gently. It's about safety. Sam nodded, but inside he felt something sharper, justice. On the morning of their return, they walked back into his house. Smelled like dust and old air. The caseworker placed a thick folder on the table while Sam opened his notebook to evidence. His phone was placed beside it, the first video paused on the screen. His tired face from day 3 staring back at him. Are you sure you want this ready when they walk in? The caseworker asked. Yes, Sam said softly. She always told me stories don't matter unless there's proof. Mrs. Lane stood near the door. Mr. Hill leaned against the counter. The supervisor from the department sat at the table, waiting. Outside they heard a car door slam. Muffled laughter. Rolling suitcases. Sam took a slow breath. I want them to see everything, he whispered. The front door opened, and Sam's mom stepped inside first. Sunglasses perched on her head like she had just walked off a runway. His dad followed, laughing about something on his phone, until he saw the people gathered in the kitchen. His mom froze. What is this? She demanded, scanning the room before her eyes landed on Sam standing beside the open notebook. The supervisor from Child Services stood. Mrs. Carter, Mr. Carter, please sit. We need to discuss the situation regarding your son. Sam's mom didn't sit. She stared straight at him. Sam, what did you tell them? Sam lifted his chin, forcing his voice to stay steady. I told them the truth, he said. His dad stepped forward with a forced smile. There's clearly a misunderstanding here. We left him with money, food, a credit card. He's a very mature kid. The supervisor slid a sheet across the table. This card was never activated. It declined every time Sam tried to use it. She placed photos of the near-empty pantry beside it. His mom's face tightened. Expired food doesn't mean he was starving. We checked in. The supervisor tapped another page. One text. One selfie. Nothing more. Sam's dad swallowed hard, his confidence fading. We told him he could order food, he offered weakly. Sam spoke before anyone else could. You trusted me to survive, he said quietly. But you didn't trust yourselves to be parents. Mrs. Lane stepped forward. Your son was dizzy from hunger, she said firmly. And he didn't come to me because he thought asking for help would disappoint you. Sam's mom glared at Mrs. Lane. You're blowing this out of proportion. He likes to write dramatic things in notebooks. The supervisor glanced at Sam. Would you like to show them your video? Sam's hands shook as he picked up his phone, but he hit play. The room filled with his small voice from days earlier. Day 3. I'm still alone. The card doesn't work. I ate the last decent thing yesterday. The camera panned across the kitchen. Empty shelves, cereal crumbs, silence. His mom slapped a hand over her mouth. His dad's shoulders sagged. No, his mom whispered. No, this can't be happening. But it was, and now she had to face it. The supervisor folded her hands. Based on our findings, this situation meets the legal definition of neglect. The supervisor continued, her tone calm but firm. Effective immediately, Sam will not return to unsupervised care with either of you until the court reviews this case. His mom stumbled backward into a chair. You can't take my child over a misunderstanding, she cried. We just needed a break. Do you know how hard we work? Sam stepped closer, meeting her eyes. I know, he said quietly. You tell everyone how hard you work. But when I was alone and hungry, you didn't tell anyone that part. His mom's expression twisted as if the truth itself had struck her. Tears filled her eyes. Sam, you don't understand, she whispered. Adults need time away too. We thought you'd be fine. We didn't mean to hurt you. Sam stared at her, remembering every cold night and every unanswered call. Maybe you didn't mean to, he said softly. But that doesn't erase what happened. His dad rubbed his forehead. We can fix this, he said desperately. Just tell them you want to come home. Sam felt a wave of sadness but didn't step back. Some things were too big to pretend away. I want to be somewhere I'm safe, he replied. The supervisor placed another form on the table. Sam will remain in temporary placement with Mrs. Lane, she said. You'll have supervised visits only, pending the court's decision. His mom's voice broke. You're choosing her over us. Sam shook his head slowly. No, they're choosing me. The room fell silent. His mom covered her face with shaking hands while his dad stared at the file on the table as though it might rewrite itself. Sam felt something shift inside him. Not victory, not triumph. Just truth finally standing where everyone could see it. And truth didn't need to shout. They left the house first. As Sam stepped onto the porch, he could still hear his mom crying inside. His dad whispered something about lawyers, about misunderstandings, about fixing their reputation. But Sam understood something now. He hadn't broken anything. Their choices had done that long before today. Walking across the yard to Mrs. Lane's house, he felt both heavy and lighter, like he had put down a secret he had been carrying alone for too long. Mrs. Lane placed a gentle hand on his back. You were brave today, she said. Sam nodded, though the word felt strange. Weeks later, Sam sat in a courtroom that smelled like old paper while lawyers read reports about him. His videos, his notebook, the photos of his kitchen. His parents sat across the room, looking smaller than he remembered. When Sam took the stand, his voice shook at first, then steadied. He told the judge exactly what happened, exactly how it felt. And he didn't apologize for telling the truth. When the hearing ended, the judge issued the ruling. Supervised visits, mandatory counseling, and no unsupervised custody until further review. His parents didn't go to jail, but they lost something deeper. They lost the assumption that they were good parents simply because they said so. After the hearing, Sam walked out of the courthouse with Mrs. Lane beside him. The sun felt different on his face. Warmer, steadier. That summer he learned how to cook more meals, how to ask for help, how to trust adults who earned it. His mom sent long messages about how sorry she was, how things would be different. Maybe someday they would find a version of normal again. Maybe not. But Sam knew this much. Every empty shelf, every hungry night, every silent day had become truth. Sam settled into life at Mrs. Lane's house as the days moved forward. He learned small routines, setting the table, folding towels, calling out, "Dinner's ready." in a voice that finally sounded normal again. One evening while stirring soup he asked, "Do you think they'll change?" Mrs. Lane paused before answering. "Change is possible," she said. "But only if they want to see what they did." Sam looked down at the spoon. "I don't want to hate them," he whispered. "I just don't want to be forgotten again." Mrs. Lane nodded. "Wanting to be seen isn't too much to ask." School staff checked on him often. Mr. Hill met him during lunch one day. "How are you holding up?" he asked. Sam shrugged. "Better than before," he said. "It still feels strange. Like I'm in between families." Mr. Hill smiled kindly. "Family isn't just who you're born to," he said. "Sometimes it's who shows up when it matters." Sam thought about that later, lying awake in the guest room. He remembered the lonely nights when nobody checked on him. Nobody asked if he'd eaten. Nobody even remembered to call. Now, at least someone had shown up. That mattered. A few weeks passed before Sam's first supervised visit with his parents. The meeting took place in a calm room with soft chairs and a round table. When his parents walked in, their faces were tight with worry. His mom sat forward immediately. "Sam, we're so sorry," she said. "We didn't realize how serious things were." His dad nodded quickly. "We want to make things right." Sam listened but didn't rush to comfort them. "I needed you," he said softly. "But you needed a break more." His mom's eyes filled with tears. "We were wrong," she whispered. "We see that now." The counselor in the room encouraged them to talk openly. Sam's dad cleared his throat. "We booked the trip thinking he was mature enough," he said. "We didn't think he'd struggle." Sam looked at him with steady eyes. "But you didn't check," he replied. "You didn't call. You didn't make sure." His mom wiped her face with a trembling hand. "We thought giving you independence was good." Sam shook his head slowly. "Independence isn't leaving someone alone. It's helping them grow safely." The counselor nodded. "That's an important difference," she said gently. "And one you must learn moving forward." After the visit, Sam walked out with the counselor while his parents stayed behind for instructions. "You handled that very well," she said. Sam sighed. "It still hurts," he admitted. "Even if they're sorry." She placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Hurt doesn't disappear quickly," she said. "But you're healing in a safe place, and that's what matters now." Sam nodded. He felt lighter but not fixed. Not yet. Healing, he realized, wasn't a switch. It was a slow, steady climb. He glanced at Mrs. Lane waiting in the hallway and walked toward her with quiet relief. Back at Mrs. Lane's house, Sam helped her water the garden. The flowers leaned toward the sun, bright and open. "These grow better when you check on them every day," she said. Sam smiled faintly. "People too?" he asked. She gave him a warm look. "People especially." They worked in silence for a moment before Sam spoke again. "Do you think they'll ever understand how lonely it was?" She set the watering can down. "Only if they keep listening," she said. "And if you keep telling the truth." Sam nodded. Truth had become his strongest protection. And his voice. Summer moved forward, bringing small moments of peace. Sam learned how to make pancakes, how to use a can opener without hurting himself, and how to ask questions without feeling like a burden. He spent afternoons reading, evenings helping with dinner, and nights writing in his notebook. Not evidence anymore, but memories. One day he wrote, "I am not invisible here," and underlined it twice. When he showed the page to Mrs. Lane, she hugged him gently. "You deserve to be seen," she said. Sam felt warmth spread through his chest. For the first time he believed it. During another supervised visit, his mom brought him a small wrapped box. "I know it doesn't fix everything," she said, "but I want you to know I'm trying." Sam opened it slowly. Inside was a journal with his name printed on the cover. "We're learning in counseling," she continued. "We're learning how to check in, how to actually listen, how to be parents again." Sam traced his fingers over the journal. "I don't know when things will feel normal," he said honestly. His dad nodded. "We understand." We're ready to earn it. No shortcuts this time. A few days later, Sam sat on Mrs. Lane's porch watching the sunset paint the street in orange light. He thought about everything: the fear, the loneliness, the help he received, the truth he had spoken, and the family slowly learning how to be one again. He didn't feel angry anymore, just aware. Aware of what he needed. Aware of what he deserved. Aware that love meant showing up, not disappearing. Mrs. Lane stepped outside with 2 glasses of lemonade. "Thinking big thoughts?" she asked. Sam smiled. "Just grateful," he said, "for the people who didn't leave." As summer came to an end, Sam closed his old notebook for the last time. The word evidence on the front no longer felt like a shield. It felt like a reminder of how far he had come. He placed it gently in a drawer and picked up the new journal his mom had given him. Maybe their family would heal. Maybe it wouldn't. But Sam finally understood he had a voice, and adults who would listen. He looked toward Mrs. Lane's kitchen where warm light glowed. "I'm not alone anymore," he whispered. And for the first time it felt completely true.